Hey everybody, if you enjoy the podcast and the content it provides, be sure to hop over and check out the community. The community is an exclusive members website that is just an extension of what we do here in July at the Central Virginia Sport Performance Seminar. What it is a combination of video lectures, a coach's corner with your Monday morning take-home information, and a forum where you can talk about anything and everything related to the field of strength and conditioning. In the community, you'll find content added each month from some of the top practitioners in the world, ranging from PhDs to high-level coaches, bringing you exactly what they're doing with their athletes or their research at the present moment. On top of that, an additional discussion by coaches bringing you that Monday morning information, things that you can add to your training program right away. Tying that in with the opportunity to discuss with coaches around the world in the forum on anything and everything from the topics addressed in these presentations to whatever you're seeing in your daily life as a coach. If this sounds like the right thing for you and your staff, go ahead and hop over to cvasps.com/community and try it out for 48 hours for just $1. If you like it, you're signed up, ready to roll, and you're jumping into all the great content added each month. If not, feel free to go ahead and cancel at any time. No questions asked. We're really excited about what we're building in the community and hope you are too. Go ahead and hop over to cvasps.com/community and check it out today.
So my thoughts Monday, talking about mental toughness today. I think that in a lot of cases, in a lot of team sport situations, mental toughness becomes the scapegoat for underperforming athletes, whether they lack tactical skill or physical conditioning. It's always convenient to blame mental toughness. And I think that can be, it can underserve the athlete and the team for a lot of reasons. But the main reason is that mental toughness is not a heritable trait like height or shoe size. Mental toughness is a trained skill like catching a ball or kicking a ball. And I think that in order to build mental toughness or to gauge how mentally tough someone is, we have to approach it the same way as, say, ball skill. You have to look at it from a skill standpoint. And in the research, this has been corroborated by a lot of studies. The Mental Toughness Index, which is a set list of skills that make up mental toughness. There are actually 12 of these skills that make up a mentally tough person, has shown that you increase someone's mental toughness, which is defined as the ability to, in the face of a stressful situation, perform accurately, precisely, and with calmness, maintaining your composure. The ability to do that is based on your skill in these 12 key areas. And you increase someone's mental toughness by focusing on the areas where you lack. So every person is going to have strong points and weak points in this list of 12. And in order to increase that toughness, you have to pick one or two of those skills and focus on improving them specifically. And when you think about it that way, mental toughness becomes not a physical quality, but almost a physical quality. Like, at that point, you can take mental toughness and frame it in a way that allows you to develop it. You're talking about a specific goal, which is one of the main issues with blaming everything on mental toughness. It's non-specific. You're talking about a quantifiable goal because you can test for how a person's mental skill in this area is improving. And you're talking about a skill that you can progress. So you're looking at, we want to develop your visualization skill. Okay, here's XYZ we're going to do. This is where you're at now. In a week or two, we're going to try again with visualization. And we're going to see how it feels. If it feels better, obviously you progressed. If not, then obviously not. And we need to keep working on that. And this is a better platform for building mental toughness for a lot of reasons. But for me, it's the specific thing that really, drives home the fact that it's a good method. Because if you take an athlete and you just tell him that he's mentally weak, that's a problem for several reasons. For one thing, the athlete has no idea what you're talking about. You bring him down by saying that he's mentally weak, but there's no context there. And when you say he's mentally weak, that message can be received a variety of ways. It's just like a stress signal, which Sapolsky in his books and his lectures talks about that stress is highly subjective. And when you tell someone, hey, you're mentally weak because you dropped a pass, there could be a lot of things going through that athlete's mind, and for all you know, you're just adding extra stress onto him and you're eliciting a fear response, which isn't building mental toughness. It's just making him afraid of you as a coach. Dr. Jordan Peterson is another great figure in psychology, and he talks about fear and says one of the things he talks about is that people don't become less afraid of anything. They just become more brave in the face of a familiar fear. So you expose someone to a similar fear over and over and over again, they either continue to be terrified of that fear or develop a specific set of skills to act more bravely in the face of that fear. And when it comes to sports, you don't have to be afraid of everything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that as a coach, instead of being the fear for the athlete and presenting a subjective stressor that you have no idea how they're going to receive, you come at the athlete and say, hey, let's work on your visualization, because I think maybe that could help you. Say that's one thing you want to work on. Or we work on your discipline, which is another aspect of mental toughness. And you tell the athlete, hey, this is the one thing that I want you to work on because I think it's going to make you a better player. Here are 3 things specifically that you can do to improve this quality. Now let's do these 3 things for a specific period of time, and after this time we'll test again and see where you're at. And now the athlete has been empowered by you as a coach to make a specific change to address a specific stressor, which will improve their sports skill. And this is in contrast to mental toughness development programs or reactionary sort of just fucking throwdowns where the coach just crushes the players physically and tells them to get over it and keep working hard, which in my opinion doesn't constitute any development. It constitutes weak coaching, because anybody can get pissed off and physically dominate another person, and anybody can endure horrible physical domination. It doesn't make them mentally tough. It just makes them a human because they want to survive. That's an instinct that's strong in everyone for the most part. It doesn't make them better at their sport, for the simple reason that in a lot of people there's no connection between being physically dominated and performing their skill. There's a disconnect between the 2 things, and as a coach you just become the aggressor or the one to be feared. You don't motivate anyone, you just push them to extrinsic motivation. So from a developing mental toughness standpoint, there are several things that are pretty clear in the research, and I think would be clear to common sense if we stop and think about it, which is that it has to be context specific. So if you're not developing mental toughness in a sport specific way, you're not really doing anything. You're just making the athlete confused. If you're not making it measurable, you have no idea how you're going to progress it. And that's another thing that has to be accounted for. Another component of the mental toughness aspect or question is motivation, which a lot of coaches are referred to as great motivators, or he's an awesome motivator and he's a good coach because he can motivate. And I don't really understand what that means. I mean, I've been around big sports programs at big schools, and I've seen what, being a motivator looks like. And it doesn't really stand up to like being a good coach. It just means that you stand up and say a lot of words. And for some guys that resonates, and for other guys it's just really annoying. I think when we talk about motivator, I think what we're referring to is that the organization has a culture of being really loud, and the coach fits that culture. I've experienced firsthand athletes who find a loud strength and conditioning coach who's verbally in your face as a distraction and a detriment to their performance. Not only that, but especially if that loudness is constant, when the loudness is gone, the athletes who depend on that to perform are now left with a crutch. So I think that the takeaway there is that motivating athletes as a coach is providing them with a platform to build discipline and mental toughness through specific development of skills that relate to their sport. And the research backs that up for the last 60 years. And clinical psychology backs it up as well, is that you don't make someone strong by making them weak, in the sense that you don't physically crush them to build them up. You give them a specific goal and explain to them how the development that you're doing will get them to that goal. And then when everyone understands what's happening, they can make the connection in their mind and go forward with greater discipline and mental toughness. Those are my thoughts on mental toughness, and we'll talk to you all soon.